Hello everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so hi, this is Rahul Gupta, the course instructor for CT, and we have TS Akhilesh and Arshita. They will be taking session today, so please cooperate. And Akhilesh and Arshita, you will soon be the co-host. And today's today is a doubt clearing session for week 1 to 4 only. Okay.
Okay.
So they are student of reattempt qualifier. They are applying for the reattempt in the qualifier. So basically, week 3 and 4 questions will be taken. It might be from the mock also, mock one. So hope you can handle these all. I'll be
Yeah,
Sure.
yes.
leaving. Okay, Akhilesh and Arshita, is
Yes,
it
sir.
okay?
Yes.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So you can start the session now. I'll ask Arshita to make co-host.
Okay.
And do not leave the session because once you come you will not be the co-host, so make sure that your connection or anything happens, let me know. You can call me directly. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sure.
Okay everyone, Arshita and Akhilesh, please take the sessions now. I'm leaving. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start the session now. It is from week 1 to 4. So if you have any doubts between these weeks, you can ask any question numbers, be it practice assignments or grader assignments.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Week 3, question number 12 from ungraded assignment.
Grader assignment.
No, from ungraded assignment, not graded.
Practice assignments, right? Not grader. Yeah. Question number.
12, last one, question number 12.
Okay. Ashita, can you take the question because I have some problem while sharing the screen?
Which one is it? Can you repeat? Akhilesh, can you tell me?
Yeah,
Week three
week,
ungraded plus question.
week 3 practice assignment, 12th question.
12th, okay.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so have you tried solving it? Do you have any particular doubts in it?
No, I can understand the answer.
Okay. So are you getting a different answer?
No, I mean I can understand the solution.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let's read it once. I have also not read it. The following pseudocode is executed using the scores dataset. At the end of the execution, count m captures the number of male students whose mathematics marks are less than the average mathematics marks of female students. So you understand this, right?
Yes, I
Count.
can.
Okay. But the pseudocode may have mistakes, so we just have to identify those mistakes. So we are initializing two variables, sum and count to 0, and then we are repeating this while loop. So we read each card from the table, and for each of sum and count, we add marks of that card in sum and count. So we do this procedure that is given here. So we can read through this procedure that we have these parameters as inputs, and we check if y has gender f, then we add to the sum and we increment count as 1. So basically here we are only adding the marks of female students. Okay, and then we are moving it to pile 2. So this loop is complete. Then we are taking the average of this because we have to find the average of female students, right? The average marks of female students. So the average gives us that. And then we have also initiated another variable, count m to 0. And again we have run a while loop, which is again reading the cards. And now we are checking if the marks of this student is less than the average. And what did we have to find out? That the marks of male students whose marks are less than the average female marks. So here I think we are not checking anywhere if the student is male or not, right? We are just checking if the marks are less than the female average, but we are not searching if like we are not looking if the student is male, right? So we will also get the female students here. Female students will also enter this while condition, and then we will increment the count m 2 plus 1. So as you can see in this line, 11th line we have an error, because there's nowhere that we are looking if it is a male student. Okay, I'm audible, right? Please
Okay.
speak.
Yes.
Okay. And then we are moving x2, and it should also be pile 2. Okay, no, we are starting from pile 1, pile 2, and then moving to pile 1, so this is correct. And then we are ending it. So I could only find one error, which is in line 11. And the error is that we are not looking if the student is male, right? Because it's mentioned in the question that we only have to look for male students. So I think line 11b should be the answer.
Okay.
Did you understand everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And question number 9 in that same question. Same practice assignment.
Okay. Ajit, you have raised your hand. Do you also want to say something?
Yeah, I in question number, let me tell you, mock
Oh,
test question number. I have some
uh,
problem in mock test one.
okay. Can you please write the number in the chat box so I
Okay,
can come
of
back
course,
to it?
of course, of
Okay.
course, of course.
Thank you. Which question did you say? Question 9. Who was the other person?
Yes, week 3 ungraded question 9.
Soham, right?
Yes.
Question 9.
Yes.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Again, do you have any particular doubt, or should I run through the entire question?
You can run through the routing solution.
Okay, so we are again doing this on the scores dataset, and we have to figure out what the variable count represent. Okay, so we have initiated count as 0, and then we have run a while loop. We are picking the first row, and then we are moving it to second row. So here we have a nested loop. Again, we are running a while loop, and we are reading the first row in y. Which one is y? Okay, in table 1 again. And so basically for each row we are going through every other row of the same table. This is a nested loop. You know nested loops, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then we are reading the first row, and then we are incrementing count to compare something. So we are running some procedure here, and we are adding that to count. So we will see what this procedure says. So we have two parameters, a and b, and if a is greater than b, we return -1, and if else we return 1. So if a is equal to b or a is less than b, we return 1. And then we move all the rows to the other table, and then we end it. So basically here we have to see what is happening. That is what will tell us what count will represent. Okay, so let's take two examples of this, x and y. And one second, I'll share a whiteboard. Okay, that's having some issue. Let's just let me just tell it verbally. Let's assume that x is greater than y. Okay, let's say x is 5 and y is 3. Okay, and in that case, what will this procedure do? X is 5, y is 4. Then it will return -1, right? Hello.
Yes. Yes.
And what will this give? This will give plus we have 4 here, sorry, 3 here and 5 here, so this will return 1, right? So -1 here and 1 here, they both cancel out, right?
Yes.
So if we have different values, if any one of x total or y total is greater, then we get 0. Then we add nothing to count. Count remains the same. Are you able to understand?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and now let's assume that both of them are equal. So x is also 3 and y is also 3. Okay.
Okay.
So what does this procedure give if both are equal? It returns 1 here. So we will add 1 here in this line, and in this line as well we will add 1, because this will also give 1, right?
Yes.
So we will add 1 twice to count, right? So count will give us double of number of students where we have both their marks equal. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So whenever x and y are equal, x total and y total are equal, we are adding 2 to count. So it will give us double the number of pair who have the same marks. So D should be the answer, I think.
Okay.
Were you able to understand?
Yes. But I think the answer was. Well, let me check.
Is it different? Um, where is it? Yeah, it's given D here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think you can able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Someone has asked mock question number 11, right? Who has asked it?
Yes, sir.
Can you
Yes, sir.
respond?
Ajit.
Yeah.
Ajit.
Yeah. Okay. So can you tell me anywhere particular doubt you have in this question, or should I
So
go through the
one no, I understood the question about the C minus D. That I also know,
Okay.
but as per the answer goes, it's the second. I was not very clear with the
Yeah.
answer
B.
part. D.
Okay. So okay, I'll start from the beginning. We have stored
Yes,
the
sir.
value 1900. Okay, for C,
Yes,
and
sir.
for D it is
Yes, sir.
2022. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
while we are taking one row from the table, from the
Okay, okay,
table
that's okay,
library
sir.
data set. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If x dot author is equal to A, so we
Yes,
are
sir.
it is a procedure, right? And we are
Yes,
giving
sir.
this A in the
Yes,
procedure,
sir.
and we are
Yes, sir.
giving B value also. So
Okay, sir.
we are giving the name of the author as A.
Hmm.
Okay, we
Hmm.
are passing one value, that is the name of the author. So we are checking if that x dot author is equal to the author that we have given.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That okay, bro.
if x dot here is greater than C, that means any values that is greater than
Okay, then
1900 for the first
100.
iteration.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Then
yes.
we will store C is equal to x dot here. So
No
let us
issue.
consider now 2000 is coming here. Okay,
Okay, okay, no issue.
so C will change to 2000. Correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then if 2001 is coming, it will change to 2001.
Yes, sir.
So what it does is it is storing the maximum value.
Maximum value of the year. Yes, sir.
Okay, that is the latest book that is published by the author.
Okay, okay. Yes, sir.
If x dot here we are storing if x dot here is less than D. That
D.
means any
Less than
book that is
22.
written, yeah,
Up to
less
21.
than 2022. That means
Okay.
now if we pass it is 2000, it will store D as 2000.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then
Yes.
if it is 1900, that is 1900, then
Mhm.
it will store. Okay, it will store the 1900 value.
Okay.
Okay, that means it will store the first the least value.
Yes, list will. Yes, sir. Of course.
Least value. Okay, D will store
Yeah.
the least value.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if C minus D is
Minus
greater than
D.
equal to B, what is B? What is B here? That is we are passing through the procedure, right? B is
Yes,
a
sir.
positive integer that we are passing through the procedure.
Okay.
Okay, if C minus D is what is C? C is the latest book. D is
Mhm.
the first book or
Oldest
the
one. Yeah, yeah. First
yeah is
one.
first book. D must be the
Yes.
first book. Okay, so C minus D will give true if
So
it is
C
greater
minus
than
D will
equal
be
to B.
negative.
No,
So
it is
C
not
minus D
negative.
will
C
be
is
We
the
don't
negative.
have to see
C
negative one. We have to not have to see
C is the
negative.
latest book, right? C is the latest book. It must be like
Yes.
thousand. It like for
2000.
example, it will be 2022. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
maybe 2022. Yeah, his latest book, and D will be the his first book. He might have written it in 1968 maybe.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, maybe. Yes, sir.
So C minus D will be positive value. And we are checking if it is greater than equal to B. What is B? The B value that we have passed through the procedure.
Okay.
It will, okay. So C minus D. The option B is correct here. What it is telling
Yes.
us, only if the last book of the author was published
A
at
was
least 8 years. Why here at least is
B.
there?
B.
It is greater than equal to B, right? It can be
Hmm.
any number. If you are passing it as 60, B, let us consider the B value is equal to 60. So
Okay.
if C minus D is equal to 70, also it will
Hmm.
return true. It can be 80 also. It can be 90.
Okay.
Any number. So we are giving at
Yeah.
least. The at least word
That
is
at
for,
least is okay to me. Huh.
okay. So what's your particular doubt in that? If and only if last book of A.
Yeah. The last
That
book.
is,
Yeah.
yeah. Last book is published at least B years after his first book.
And that the thing. B year after the first book.
Okay, let us consider now C value is 2020. Okay.
Okay.
The latest books he has written is 2020 in 2020.
Okay.
And the first
Yes.
book he written in 2000.
Okay.
Okay, so C minus D is 20, right?
20.
So the gap between his first book and the last book is
20 year.
20 years.
Okay.
So we can say that his last book is 20 years after his first book. Correct.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So if
Okay.
B is, we can consider B as 10.
Got the
So
things.
it is
Got the thing.
last book is at least 10 years after his first book.
Got the thing. Okay, sir.
Okay. Then you have
Sir,
some
I
doubt
have
in
a
other
doubt in
question,
this
right?
question.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, the value of C and D is first initialized. Then what if the
Yeah,
answer is
initialized.
negative?
But here we are storing it as 1900 because in the library data set, no, it is a least value.
Okay.
And for D, it is the greatest value in the library data set. Here we are
Okay.
comparing, no, X dot year is greater than C. So some book must be greater than 1900.
Okay.
There will be at least one book that is greater than 1900.
Yes.
That is what I told. So if we pass it as 1968, it will store 1968. If we pass 1974, it will pass. It will store as 1974. So it will be the greatest value, right? It will be storing the greatest value.
Okay.
Understand this? It will store the latest value, latest book that has been written.
Okay.
So it will store the latest book that the author has written. Maybe he has written it in 2020. Okay.
Yes.
Here X dot here is storing the least value. That is the first book he has written. He
Yes.
should have written it in 2000 maybe. You
Okay.
understand? So it is changing. The
Okay.
value is changing. We are
Okay.
using D here because we are comparing it. So some value will be less than 2022.
Sir, what if he returns the book in 2021?
Okay, he has written in 2021. The latest book. That is first book. Which book you are speaking? First book or
No,
last book?
if the book is returned in 2021, then
Okay. Here two condition is there. His first book and his last book, right? So his last
yes.
book must be 2021.
Yes.
Okay. So it will C will store the 2021 value. That is the greatest value, which is bigger,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
2021
I
or
got it.
2000.
Yes, it will last year of the value.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
2021 will be big. No, so C will store the latest value. That is big value. C will be greater than D always because his latest book will be greater than his first book, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So your doubt is not clarified or not?
I got it. Thank you.
I got the thing.
Okay.
So question number 13,
Any,
sir, the same question, same mock test.
okay. Can you
In
tell
this very
any?
in this very question, sir, the place of initialization of C, as per the answer, C initializes in the wrong place.
Okay.
I'm not able to
Uh,
understand this.
okay. Let me read the question. The following pseudocode is accepted. Okay. Meanwhile, if anyone is having doubt, you can send it in chat box so that Arshita will be able to read it. Mm. Okay. Okay, so the question wants us that the number of sentences with at least two nouns that have at
And yes,
most
sir.
two vowels. Okay.
Two vowel, yes, sir.
Okay. Initially, we are initializing A is equal to 0, C is equal to 0, while
Yeah.
attempt
In
1
this
has
very,
4 cards, read.
es- excuse me, in this very question, the 10 number C is equal to 0. As per the answer, then in place of initialization of C is wrong. I am not able to understand that, sir.
In line number, okay, wait, I will come to that. So if x dot part of speech is equal to noun and count vowels, there is a procedure here for count vowels. Initially, we are initializing I is equal to 1 and B is equal to 0, while I is less than equal to y dot letter count. So if ith letter is vowel, then we are
Vowel.
adding B is equal to B plus 1
Yes,
and
sir.
I is equal to I plus 1.
That okay.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, here why okay, you can see here I is the answer is E here. One of the answer is E. That is I is updated in the wrong place. You can understand that. But
I'm confused about the C, the line 10.
okay, okay.
C is
I
appearing in the
you
wrong
understood. I
place.
you understood, right? I you
Yes,
understood.
sir. That I understood, sir.
Because only if vowel is there, then we are adding it.
Yes,
It should not
yeah,
be
I
that
got
case.
it.
It should be out of the loop. So that
Yes,
every
out of the
time
loop.
if it is
Yes, yes.
vowel or not, it should be incremented.
Yeah, that I understood.
Okay.
What
So if
about C?
it is less than equal to 2, that is at most case unknown. C is equal to C plus 1. Okay. Here it is if again.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Uh, if C is greater than equal to 2, A is equal to A plus 1 and C is equal to 0. 905. Okay. Hmm. Here is explanation is given right here, right? Right.
Question is given. I'm not able to understand that.
Okay. Also, C is initialized to 0 inside the C is greater than up to condition. This is a mistake in the pseudocode. C should be initialized to 0 after the end of the sentence, irrespective of the condition if C is greater than equal to 2. Therefore, C is updated in the wrong place instead. Okay. So here we are adding if it is noun and count of vowel is less than
Less
equal to
than
2.
equal to 0.
Less than equal to 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Sorry, yes, sir.
yeah.
True.
That time we are incrementing. But
Okay.
here, if it is the end of the sentence,
Yes,
then
sir.
it x dot word with in with a full stop is true. Okay.
Okay, okay.
And if C is greater than equal to 2,
Mm-hmm.
what if C is equal to 1 in the before case? Okay. Now let us consider a word which has only one vowel
Okay.
and it is a noun. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here it will go to this procedure, right? Count vowels.
Yes, sir.
So it will give you it will tell you that it has one vowel.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll add it. C is equal to C plus 1. You'll add it.
Okay, okay, okay.
But while coming to this case, no, it is ending with a full stop. And if C is greater than equal to 2,
Yes,
that
sir.
means now C is equal to 1, right?
Ah, yes, let's suppose.
Okay, C is equal to 1. So it won't be coming to this case. And
Okay.
C is equal to 0 won't be initialized for the next word.
Okay.
Okay, this C is equal to 0 should be initialized after this if.
After this loop,
That is in the 11 in the line number they have given, between line 11 and
11
12.
and 12.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it is irrespective of the value of C. We have to
Okay,
initialize
yes, it
this loop.
should be out of the loop of 11
Yeah,
number.
out of the loop. Yeah, if it is one inside the loop, no, like the earlier case we did here for I.
No, 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 I got this. Yes.
You got it? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other doubts?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Is my screen visible? Okay. Chetan asked this
Yeah.
question. Question one. Okay. So, any particular option that you didn't understand?
Yeah, I actually am confused about option number B and option number D. I'm pretty sure that the professors explained why we need a nested loop same for the pair of students with same shared birthday, and
Yes.
they also explained why we don't need for the shopping days. And uh, I wanted, and I know why we need for the option B, but I have a doubt in option B. Just like we did in shopping bills data set, we actually bend the bills in such a way that uh, in a particular bill, all the elements are from the same shop, right?
Yes. Yes.
Uh, I wanted to know why can't we do the same with the birthdays? Suppose if I were to make bins for each date, and I were to, in single iteration, I were to bin all the students in one of those bins. And
Yes.
if after that iteration is completed, if I
Hmm.
write a pseudocode that if the number of element in a particular bill is greater than one,
So you
uh,
write a procedure, right?
no, another iteration.
Okay.
If the number of elements in a particular bill is greater than one, uh, I make a Cartesian product of it, of the sequel number of that card, and I discard the I discard the element with the same sequence number, and I print the the pairs. If I don't know if I'm able to make myself clear.
No, I'm not following here. Can
Suppose
you?
let me just give you an example. Suppose I
Okay.
make bins of 365. I make 365 bins, and suppose in a class there are students which have the same date of birth,
Hmm.
and I want pairs. So actually they'll be paired with each other. I'll have three pairs. So for that I'm using another iteration where I am saying if uh, the count of elements is greater than one, which in this case is three.
Yes.
It
Hmm.
is, and I say that I want uh, the Cartesian product of sequence number. Suppose one card has sequence number one, another has five, and another has six.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
say I want all the Cartesian products, but discard
Hmm.
the Cartesian product with same sequence number. I don't want to pair one with one.
Yeah.
I want different pairs. So
Hmm.
and I don't want repetition. So I also ignore one and five and five and one. So
Hmm.
I'll only keep one of them and I print those.
Hmm.
Can't
Okay.
I have all the pairs with the same date of birth, because I've already binned them according to date of birth. I just make pairs
Okay.
using this iteration.
So what I've understood is you make 365 bins,
Yeah.
and for each student you put them in one bin from
Yes.
the 365 ones, and at the end you check if any bin has more than one element,
Yes.
right? And if you have them, then you conclude that some pairs share a birthday
Yes.
through the Cartesian product.
Yes.
Okay, I think you're right. That is one way to do this, but the more common way and the way that is taught in the lectures is through nested loops. But I think you are correct. You can do that through that as well.
Okay.
Akhilesh, do you have a different opinion?
Yeah, no, I think it is okay.
Yeah, I think you are right. You can do it through that, but it is, see, it's very tedious, right, to create these. I'm not saying
Yeah.
you're wrong, but it's just more common to do it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I get that it's tedious, but I just wanted
Mm.
to know if that is one way we can
Yeah,
do this. One way
yeah.
we can skip the nested loop
Mm.
situation.
True. Yeah, I definitely think you're right.
Okay, thank you. That was my question.
Pleasure. Someone also asked question 6, Somyajit, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This one. Do you have any particular doubts in this?
Ma'am, actually, I'm not getting the solution, ma'am. Can you please explain the whole question?
Okay. Okay, sure. So we have to execute this pseudocode using the words dataset, and we have to figure out what count represents. Okay, so we have initialized it to 0, and then we have run a while loop here. And for each row, that is for each word, we are uh, initiating I as the letter count of that word, like whatever number of letters the word has, and we are initializing C as 0. We have also initialized A as false and B as false. Now while A is greater than 0, so while we still have letters left in the word, we run this while loop. And if the ith letter of the word is a vowel, and if A is true and B is not true, so here both are false, so we don't need to go through this, but we also have to mark A as true and B is false. So when is A true? If the ith word is a vowel, then we put A as true, okay, and B remains false, okay. And otherwise, if the ith word is not a vowel, we are keeping A as false, but we are putting B as true. So if ith letter is a vowel, we put A as true. If it is not a vowel, we put B as true, okay. And then we are decrementing I and running this loop again, okay. Are you following?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
when the letter will not file, then the nested if will not executed, then we'll directly jump to the else loop, right?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so then we go again in this while loop, and let us assume that A is true. Okay, and when will A be true? When it is a vowel. So if A is true, and B will also obviously be false, because either it is a vowel or it is not a vowel, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if A is true, that means the previous word was a vowel, and now we are running it again. So we have A as true and B as false. So we will mark C as 1. Okay, so this
Ma'am,
was a word. We have a word here, and for the first iteration, we saw if this was a vowel. If this was a vowel, we put A as true. Okay,
yes, ma'am.
and in the second iteration we are also looking if this is also a vowel, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if this is also a vowel, we put C as 1,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
and and then this iteration is complete. Now there will be another case. If this was not a vowel, that means A was false and B was true, right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So in that case we will not go in this loop, we will go into this loop. This loop means that this word is also not a vowel, because if it was true we would go into this, but this was will not execute. Now if this is not a vowel, then we will go into this and check if this condition satisfies. So if previous word was also not a vowel and this word was also not a vowel, we will put C as 1,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we change these flags and again decrement I, and we see if C is not equal to 0, then we increment count. Mm,
Ma'am, when the count will be incremented?
when the C is equal to 0, so uh, 1 second, I will erase this. So if this loop was not run and this loop was also not run, then we will
Okay.
have C as 0.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
able to make out? Can you guess now what should be the answer? When will C be equal to 0? Oh, there are more
Uh,
options.
when there will be no two vowels.
So not two vowels actually. See, for the first case here, when we checked if both were vowels, right? If
Yes,
both
ma'am.
are vowels, then we increment C here. And if both are not vowels, that means both are consonant, then also we increment C here, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if so we don't want two consecutive vowels or two consecutive consonants. So we don't want any of these cases, right? We don't want vowel and we don't want consonant. So we should not have these pairs in the word. So
Yes, ma'am.
the number of words,
So the
it should
option
be this,
B will
yes.
be.
The number of words in which neither two vowels nor two consonants occur consecutively. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Was this clear or should I explain again?
Yes, ma'am. It is clear. Ma'am, question number
Yes.
7 also.
This was 6. Okay. Okay. Again, do you have any specific doubts here?
No, ma'am. Can you please explain the
Okay,
whole process?
sure. So again, we are doing this on the words data set, and again, we have to figure out what count represents. So let's first look at this procedure, then we will go to that. Okay, so we have this procedure here which has a parameter p, and we have initialized a as 0 and I as 1, b as false, and flag as false. Okay, now if I, while I is
Ma'am,
less than
here
or equal,
flag is a
yes.
variable, right?
Yes, flag is a boolean variable, so it will either be true or false. It is a variable.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we are looking at each letter in this while loop, and if the letter is a vowel, and if B, but here B is false, so we won't do this, and we will put B as true. So again, can you find a similarity here? Like first, on the first iteration, when we find a vowel, we will not put A as 1. Only in the second iteration, also if we find a vowel, then only we will put A as 1. Are you getting
Yes,
it?
ma'am.
So if
Ma'am,
again, if yes,
what is the meaning of that second nested if that P,
this one,
the next one, ma'am?
this one, this
Yes,
means
ma'am.
that if B is true,
Okay.
so it is the same as this, if B equal to true. This is a shorter way of writing it, and they both mean the same thing.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so if B is true, then we will do this, but in the first iteration, B is false. But again, if we find a vowel, B will be true, right? So if
Yes.
we find two vowels, then we put A as 1. Okay,
Yeah.
and if it is not a vowel, we will put B as false, and we will increment I so that it keeps running through this loop. And at the end, if A is 1, which means we did find two consecutive vowels, right?
Yeah.
Then the flag will be true, and we return flag. So what does flag mean? Flag means that there were two consecutive vowels in the given word, right? Are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so basically this procedure will tell us if we have two consecutive vowels. Okay, now let's look at the main pseudocode. So count is 0 and we are running this while loop, and uh, we are running a nested while loop here. So first row, and then we for the first row we check every other row, and for the first row and then the second row, we for basically for each pair we do this procedure, and we increment count if both are true. So basically the X word will also have two consecutive vowels, and the Y word should also have two consecutive vowels, then we will increment count. Okay, so basically if two
Yes, ma'am.
consecutive words have two consecutive vowels each, right, then we will increment count. So that
Okay,
is
ma'am.
what count represents. So
So here option C will
yes,
be the
ma'am.
correct.
Sorry. No, not exactly two vowels. It will, if even if they have more than two vowels, then also it should be correct. 1 second, let me check. Yes, even if it has three consecutive vowels, then also we will put A as 1, right? Then also A will remain 1, right?
Yes.
See, if we have two, then we put A as 1. But if we also have another one, third vowel, then we are not putting as 0 anywhere, right? So it will be at least two vowels. So I think D should be correct. Do you know the answer to this?
Uh,
Number of pairs with at least two consecutive vowels.
B or D, both are the same option, right?
No, it is at least two vowels and it is consecutive vowels.
Okay. I
So
think
it should be
option B.
consecutive. Sorry?
Yeah, I think option D is answer.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Pleasure.
Okay, so I think you have a doubt with mock test 2 or 1. Can you clarify that?
Mock test 2.
2 is for week 8, right? You have only till week 4 for the
Okay, okay.
reattempt.
Okay, I have another doubt. This activity questions.
Okay. This question, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if you have seen the lecture, okay, have you read the question?
Yes, 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 I have this.
So we have three variables, that is max 1, max 2, max 3, and max 1 is the greatest value, then max 2 and max 3 the least value. So let us assume that we have always always compare a new card with max 1, then with max 2, and finally with max 3. Okay. So if we consider now we are taking a card, first we'll compare it with max 1. We'll check if the card is greater than 89. Okay, let us consider the first card is 95, right? So if it is greater than 89, then we will assign max 1 is equal to 95. Then for max
Okay.
2, we'll change the value to 89. And for max 3, we'll change the value to 78. Correct.
Okay.
So the question is how many pairwise comparisons among the variables and the cards are needed to update all the three variables? All the variables. Note that each pair consists of a card and one of the three variables. Okay, so initially we'll compare with max 1, right? So for the card 95, if we compare it with max 1, it will change to 95. And all the three values are updated, right? For max 2, it will be the next greatest element, second greatest element, and max 3 will be the third greatest element. Now 67 will be rejected, and max 3 will take 78, and max 1 will take 89.
Okay, okay, I
Correct.
got it.
So the answer is 1.
Okay,
We have
thank you. That
go to
was
the next
that
question.
was only that. No, I can't.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. If you have any other doubts, you can ask.
Someone asked question 7 from this.
I think we have discussed that also.
Practice assignment.
Practice assignment.
Case
Yeah.
1. I used to know.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah,
I'm here.
you discussed that.
Do you still have this doubt? I discussed graded assignment. This is practice Is it discussed? Did you discuss it?
I'll check.
Do you need me to explain this? Question 7, please reply.
Sorry, ma'am.
You had a doubt in this, right? So, was it solved or should I explain?
Please explain, ma'am, whole question.
Okay, it's visible, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So, any particular doubt or should I explain the entire question?
Whole question.
Okay. So, again, we are running the pseudocode using the words dataset. Did you listen to the previous 2 questions that were discussed?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so it's pretty similar. Do you want to go through this once?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand those questions?
No, ma'am, I have doubt with that.
With those as well. Okay, so let's go through this. So we have initialized count as 0, count as a variable, and its value we have taken as 0. Okay, then we have run a while loop, and in this we are reading each row in table 1. Basically, we are looking at each word, and then we are moving to table 2, and we are doing something with that word. So initially I is 1 and A is false, B is also false. And while this the letter count of that word is greater than or equal to I, then we run this while loop. Okay, so basically for each letter of the word we run this while loop. Okay, hello, are you there? Okay, so for each letter we are running this while loop, and we are checking if that letter is a vowel, and if that is a vowel, and if A is true. So I explained this earlier, that this means that if A equal to true, right? So if the word is a vowel and A is true, then we will put B as true as well. So this is very similar to the question that we did before. So initially A will be false, right? So if we get one vowel, A will remain as false. But if we, on the second iteration, if we again get a vowel, then A will be true this time. So then we will put B as true. So if we get one vowel, then we will put A as true. And if we get two vowels, then we will put B as true. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if if I is not a vowel, then we will put A as false, and then we will increment I. So so that this loop keeps running. And at the end, if B is true, then we increment count. So when was B true? B was true when we had two vowels, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So uh, B if B is true, then we will increment count. So for each word, if we have two vowels, we will put count as count plus 1. So for each word, we have many words in that table, and we will go to each word and check if it has two vowels. If it has two vowels, then we will increment count as count plus 1. Okay, and we will do this for all of the words. So if any of so for every word that has two vowels, we will increment count. So count will represent the number of words which has two consecutive vowels. Okay, so let's see which option says that. Number of words with at least one pair of vowels occurring consecutively. Even if it has more vowels than two, then also this B will remain true, and our answer will be this A, because we need at least one pair. So at least two vowels we need. Okay, so option A should be the answer.
Okay, ma'am. Now understood.
Okay.
They Devansh is having in question number 4.3 activity question, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you tell me the question number for every question? This question. This question. Hello.
This is question number 3.
Question number 3. Okay. Have you watched the previous lecture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There was a formula, right? It was half in. Wait. Ashita, do you remember that formula?
Which formula?
For this question at 4.3.
Oh, 1 second, I'll look at it.
Okay. Meanwhile, if someone is having any other doubts, you can send me in chat box.
Question 1, they asked, right? Devansh.
G, ma'am.
Question number 3 it was.
Oh,
Sir,
question
question
number 3. Okay.
Isn't it n into n minus 1 by 2?
Yeah, that's the formula.
And we divide that by
Ma'am,
10 raised to
simply
power 8
we put
comparison.
the formula.
We put, I think we calculate the number of comparisons we need to do, pairwise comparisons. We divide that by 10 raised to power 8 and multiply that. Sorry, yeah, we divide that by 10 raised to power 8, I think.
Hmm. Factor of reduction. This is.
It is given here, right?
G, sir.
Yeah, I think I don't remember it properly. I think I can watch a lecture and answer that question. Factor of reduction is n minus 1 divided by n into k minus 1. Usually, I think you have to calculate the number of comparisons using this formula, required formula, then the factor of reduction, I think.
This is n is 10 to the power 8.
Yes, yes, it's. I have calculated this. So what you'll do is you'll calculate the number of pairwise comparisons you'll need by the formula n into n minus 1 by 2.
Into n minus 1. Yeah.
And you just simply divide by 10 raised to power 8 because that's the number of comparisons a computer can do in a second. So you'll have the
Okay.
number of you'll have the number of seconds that you'll need to require. You'll need to calculate those whatever the calculation gives you.
So the bins in this question.
Pardon?
Bins. Bins.
No, you don't need bins. You don't need bins. There are no bins in this question. You just simply do the calculation. 10 raised to power. It's 10 lakh, right? 10 lakh elements you have. So 10 lakh minus one would be 9 lakh 99,999, right? So that multiply 10 lakh divided by 2, that give that you pretty much divide by 2, and that gives you 4,99,999.5 into 10
Sir,
lakh, and that divide by 10 raised to power 8.
I've done this.
So
Did you get the answer?
that gives you 4,999 seconds, which is
Ji
nearly
sir.
5,000.
1999.5. Yes sir.
Yeah.
Ji sir.
Hello guys,
Clear now?
this is Rahul Gupta. Uh,
Yes.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me make one more clear thing that exam doesn't have these questions. There will be pseudocodes only. So don't worry about these questions at the last moment. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's move on.
Yes. Okay. You have any other doubts? Any other questions from grade assignment till week 4? Devang just asked practice assignment question number 4 2, right?
Yes sir.
Okay.
Question number 2 of practice assignment 4. The word data set also.
I think you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes sir, I'm able to see this
Okay.
screen.
This question. Okay, can you tell me any specific spot you have doubt, or should I go through the total question?
Sir, I'm confusing in that in statement one of a word X and with full stop.
Okay, this spot.
So I'm confusing in that question. Please solve more for me.
Okay, at the end of execution, A captures a number of sentences with at least 2 nouns that have at most 2 vowels, right? I think we have solved a similar question in some other question. I think it was similar to this. Okay, we are checking if the word is noun and the number of vowels in that word should be less than 2, at most 2. Okay, at most 2 vowels means it should be 2 or less than 2. It can be 1 or 0, and the word should be noun, right? Then we'll be adding C is equal to C plus 1. And why we are using this statement is because we are checking for the number of sentences, right? So number of sentences means that the last word, if we have some word, he is tall, that means we'll have some full stop, right? So it is the end of the sentence. It marks the end of the sentence.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if C is greater than equal to 2. So if C is greater than equal to 2, then we will add A is equal to A plus 1. Increment A. Why? A captures the number of sentences, right?
Yes, sir.
Number of sentences.
Number
What
of
is C? C captures for each sentence. For each sentence, it captures the number of nouns that has at most 2 vowels. Correct.
Okay, sir.
So if C is greater than equal to 2 means if a sentence is having at least 2 words, that is noun and has at most 2 vowels. So I think in statement 1 we don't want any other statement, right? We are incrementing A, that is more than enough. And why in statement 2, not necessary. And for statement 2, here it is ending with full stop. Okay. So next we have another sentence. Okay. Here it is ending with full stop, and we have some other sentence. So we have to start from the beginning. From the beginning, we have to assign C is equal to 0. A we shouldn't assign to 0 because A is capturing the number of sentences, right? So we have to re-initialize C is equal to 0 in this case. Only after this if. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. You understood this?
I understand.
Yeah, doubt with statement 3 and 4 also. Statement 3 and 4.
So like this, same like that.
Okay, the same case. Here,
Yes, sir.
we are checking for the number of vowels in it is checking the number of vowels in a word, right?
Less than question.
So if the word is a vowel, if the letter is a vowel, then B is equal to B plus 1. We are iterating through a word. Let us consider the word is word itself. Okay. So we are in first iteration, it is passing through W. Okay. So if ith letter of Y dot word is a vowel, that means W is a vowel or not. W is not a vowel. So we are not incrementing B is equal to B plus 1. Then we have to go to the next letter. So that we have to initialize here I is equal to I plus 1. So that we'll go to the second letter here. Okay. So if O is a vowel, O is a vowel for the second iteration. O is a vowel, we'll be incrementing B. So now B becomes 1.
B becomes 1.
Then we have to increment the word. I is equal to 3. So that it will take R and it will check. So I don't think any other statement is required in statement 3. Okay. And for statement 4, we have to increment I here. We shouldn't increment I here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
We shouldn't increment I here. Some may have doubts there also. Why we shouldn't increment I in that part? Because here we are checking if ith letter of the Y dot word is a vowel. So if I is equal to I plus 1 here, that means only if the letter is a vowel, then we are incrementing I. Okay. That should not be the case. You understood?
I understand, sir. Then statement 3 is not necessary.
Yeah, statement 3 is not necessary. So yeah, we have other option also. Yeah, I told you, no, in statement 3, I plus 1 should not be there, and statement 2, same. C is equal to 0 should not be there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this option is wrong. Only in the statement 2 and 4, we should initialize C is equal to 0 and I is equal to I plus 1. What?
Thank you, sir.
Can you repeat? Okay. Any other doubts here?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Sir, what is the
I
difference,
can ask you
sir?
about. Okay.
On the same question, what is the difference
Yeah,
between options, sir? That
okay. Wait. Okay. So let us consider.
I can't see the screen, sir.
You're not able to see the screen.
Yes,
Can you see
sir.
now?
No, sir. Ah,
Wait a minute. Wait. Can you see it now?
no, sir. Ah, I can see now, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the other options is telling that in the statement 3, I is equal to I plus 1. Okay. I will tell why it is wrong here. So if it is in statement 3, I is equal to I plus 1, that means let us consider the same word. Okay. Word. So initially we are iterating through W initially. Okay. Y dot letter count is okay. I is 1 initially. So if ith letter is
Okay.
W here. Okay. We are checking if ith letter of Y dot word is a vowel or not. Is W a vowel or not? It is not a vowel. Right.
Yes, sir.
So now we are not going to pass through this condition. We are coming to statement 4 here. Okay. If in other option it is given that statement 4 is not necessary. So for the next iteration, I should be 2, right? Only then it will take the letter O. Can you understand that part? So I
No,
is equal to I plus 1 should be here. I is equal to I plus 1 should be in the statement 4 because when we pass initially through a consonant W, if I is equal to I plus 1 is inside this, let us consider if it is inside this, only if the letter is a vowel. Only if the letter is vowel, then we are incrementing I. Okay.
Uh,
Otherwise, we are not incrementing.
in the statement 3, sir.
Yeah. Right.
If it is in statement 4,
If it in statement 4, I is equal to I plus 1, right? Here in statement 4. That means initially for W, we are iterating through W and we are checking if it is a vowel or not. If it is not a vowel, then we are coming to statement 4. Then I will be incremented to 2. So it will take the next letter O here. Okay.
okay, sir.
Then it would be checking if O is a vowel or not. If O is a vowel, yeah, O is a vowel. So it will be incremented. B will be incremented to 1 now. Okay. Then it will come again to the statement 4. And it will increment I is equal to 3 now. I is equal to 3 and the letter would be R now. Okay. For the next iteration. So if it is inside, I is equal to I plus 1. Okay. So can you tell now?
Okay, sir.
Initially the letter is W. What will happen
Sir,
now? Can you tell me?
sir, in statement 3, it's I is equal to I1 plus,
I plus 1. Yeah.
wait, sir. If it is oval, then only
Yeah, vowel.
included, sir.
Yeah, then only it will be incrementing. It should not be the case, right? We have to go through the every letter of the word. Every letter of the word. If it is only a vowel, then we are incrementing to the next. So if it is starting as W, then it won't be incremented. Then the while loop won't work, no. So we won't get the required output. Understood?
If it is asking Y letter counter, then we include in statement 4, sir. Enter in
Yeah. In statement 4, it should be I is equal to I plus 1. And I don't think statement 3 is required. No, it is performing its job well. B is equal to B plus 1.
is
Did you
already
understand or you still have doubts?
given, sir.
I think
No,
option
sir.
A should be correct.
I got.
Option A should be correct.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir.
Any other doubts you have?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
There won't be any negative marking as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, there is no negative marking in quiz.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I have a doubt, sir, related qualify exam, sir.
Okay. I think Rahul sir is here.
Sir, we can write the exam only we don't qualify
Can you repeat it?
in one or two. In 1 or 2 subjects we are qualified. We should not write it now.
No, I don't know about that. I think you can chat it with the team, support team. I think you can mail them if you have any queries.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other doubts?
Akhilesh?
Yes, sir. Someone has asked. Okay. Wait a minute. Practice assignment 3 question number 12.
Important types of questions. So you will only be asked pseudocode based questions. So the other activity questions you won't be asked. And for important types, you can just go through the mocks and the graded assignments that you have been given. So similar questions will come in the quiz.
Okay. Someone has asked this question, right?
Yes, sir.
Any specific doubts you have?
Yes, sir, I'm confused that in the
Okay.
error of find to error in this pseudocode.
Okay. So we'll start at the beginning from. Okay. At the end of the execution, count and captures the number of male students whose mathematics marks is less than average mathematics marks of female students. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll find the.
Count in.
Okay. Initially, we are initializing sum is equal to 0 and count is equal to 0 here. And while pile 1 has more cards, we are reading the first card. Then sum comma count is equal to add marks of x. X is the card. Okay.
Parameter.
X is the row. And sum is the value that we are passing here, right?
And count is the number of cards.
And count. Okay.
Yes.
Count is the number we are passing. So it is we'll come directly come to the procedure here. Okay.
Yes,
Add
sir.
marks. So if y dot gender is equal to female, sum f is equal to sum f plus y dot mathematics. What it will give now? It will give the total marks of female students, right? In mathematics. And
Sum.
count f will give number of female students. Yeah. It is the sum of mathematics marks of female gender. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And count f is the number of female students. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It will return sum f and count f here. Okay. Now what we have completed here, we have got the sum of marks of mathematics of female gender and count f the number of female students. So we are coming to the line 7 here. So average t is equal to sum by count. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You know, sum by count is giving the average. What is this average? Average of the female students.
Female student.
Mathematics marks. Okay. Of mathematics marks. Okay.
Yes.
Now count m is equal to 0. Wait a minute. Okay. Initially we are reading. Now every card has gone to the pile 2, right?
Yes, sir.
So now we are reading it from pile 2. Okay. Read the top card x in pile 2. If x dot mathematics is less than average, then count m is equal to count m plus 1. Okay. We are checking the number of students whose mathematics mark is less than average of female students.
Female
But in the
student.
question it is given that, yeah, but in the question it is given that C captures the number of male students. Okay. We are not checking that condition here. Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
We are not checking if it is male or not. So it should be if x dot gender is equal to male. M.
Not
And
average total.
x dot mathematics is less than average. Then only we have to increment count. Right.
Yes, sir.
So the option is, yeah. So if it is given in the answer key also, if x dot gender is equal to male and x dot mathematics is less than average.
Average.
Average t is corresponding to the female gender's mathematics marks. Right. Understood this?
Yes, I understand this.
Do you have any other doubts? Okay.
Line 11. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other queries you have?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in the pseudocode, Sometimes I found that suppose we are going to start a pseudocode for maximum value of a field, card with maximum value of a field. Then we,
Okay.
while we are going to solve it, the first position is start, max is equal to 0. Then max card ID is equal to -1. In which condition the card ID must be -1?
Where did you give
Some
-1?
yes. Why it is -1?
Can you tell me the question numbers where you see where you can see that?
Suppose we are going to start the pseudocode for card with maximum value of a field.
Okay.
We are
Okay.
writing start. Then max is equal to 0. Then
Okay.
max card ID is equal to -1. Why it is -1?
Which question can you tell me that?
Sir, this is an example from Professor G. Venkatesh Mahadev Mukund,
Okay,
IIT
it was
Madras.
discussed in the lecture.
Yes,
The book,
sir.
it was in the book. Okay. So we give max is equal,
Which
initially
con-
we'll assign max is
which
equal to 0
condition?
because,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Sir, just my
initially
question
we'll
is,
assign,
which condition it will
okay,
be -1?
-1. Actually, if you consider we have a list, okay, we have some numbers, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay. Every number is greater than 0, right?
Okay.
So we can initialize max is equal to 0 so that while we are iterating, some number will be greater than max. No, we'll write the minimum number in the max while we are initializing.
Okay.
So that while comparing, if you consider max is equal to 99, okay, consider max is equal to 99, and the number is 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have only numbers 4, 5, 6. If you are checking 99 is great, if the 4 is greater than 99, it will be false. So while we are initializing max, it should be the minimum number. So that while comparing, we'll have at least one number which is greater than the number, right?
Okay, sir.
So okay. So we'll
Sir,
assign max is equal to 0.
okay. Again, I seen that pseudocode for finding the matching bracket, and the author has written start, then nesting level is equal to 0, then RBD is equal to -1. What is this?
No, I don't understand your question. Can you repeat?
Pseudocode procedure for finding the matching bracket.
Matching brackets, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, -1 you initialize because I think in the pseudocode it will be changing to only 2 values, right?
Actually, I am confusion where we should write -1, where we should write 0.
Can you tell me how the -1 is used inside the pseudocode?
Can I?
Is it finding the
I
maximum element?
I think I understood. I understood his question. Can I answer if you don't mind?
Yeah.
So, there are a couple of variables you can take into account. If you take marks, for example, if you take scores data set, there are couple of fields in that card. You take sequence number, which starts from 0 and goes up to 29, if I remember correctly. And you take marks, for example, and we saw each card, and no card has a value 0 in it. So whenever we try to find the maximum value for any type of marks, be it a mathematics marks or chemistry marks or physics marks or in general total marks, we initialized max equals to 0 because we knew that whatever the case may be, maximum is always going to be greater than 0. So if we take we initialize max equals to 0, we'll find some card which will have the marks that will be greater than 0. But in case of when we try to find a sequence number or some sort of a sequence number maximum, in those cases, because the sequence number starts from 0, we can't initialize max equals to 0. Because if we initialize max equals to 0 and let's pick the card with sequence number 0, it's not going to be greater than 0. So in that case, we initialized that variable with -1. because when we pick that card with 0, it will be greater than -1. So you initialize the variable of max to a point where you know your elements are going to be greater than that point. If I made myself clear to you, if you've understood the point.
Yes, yes, yes. Now it is fine. Already clear.
You take the range of that variable that can take you check the range, and you put a number that is below that range.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it with the minimum number. So we will be sure that all the elements will be greater than the number in the set.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Do you have any other doubts?
No, sir.
Anyone else wants to ask anything? Else we will end the session, I guess. You can
We
still
can wait
ask
for
if you
2 to
have
3 more
anything.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I think we can wait for 2 to 3 more minutes. If someone is having doubt, you can ask. Okay, if you don't have doubts, I think we can end the session. Yeah, good night. Thank you. All the best for your qualifier.
All the best.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Arshita and Nicholas, to
Thank you,
end
sir.
up the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.